So here's my sugar syrup that I'm making for my dessert. I've got 2 cups of cane granulated sugar and
got that
2
going
cups
on.
of water.
I'm
just going to let this dissolve.
just a dash of cardamom powder. I wish I had a real cardamom because I would have put that in there instead. This is going to give it a really nice flavor. So I'm going to cook that, and I'm going to make sure that all my sugars dissolve. So here is my sugar syrup for my dessert. Gulab Jamun, it's called. It is a Pakistani dessert. We'll go that. Alright, so we're gonna make some dessert here called Gulab Jamun. Yeah, that's what it's called. So what it takes is some powdered milk we got right here. So I put 1 cup powdered milk. Come on. And then we're going to do a tablespoon of flour. Then we're going to do a half teaspoon of baking powder, and then we're going to do a 1/4 teaspoon of cardamom powder. But be careful with this shit. It's very, very strong. Even though I've only got a 1/4 teaspoon here, I can smell it. It's very strong, but it tastes really good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my flour. I'm going to add that to my powdered milk, and I'm going to grab my baking powder. Make sure it's baking powder, not baking soda. I've made that mistake many times before. So we're going to do that and get it in there, give it a nice mix. Make sure everything is mixed really nicely, like that. Now I'm going to take the cardamom powder, toss that in there. Toss that around. Smell it, eh, baby? That cardamom?
Yeah.
See what I mean by it being like very, very strong? Pause it. So I'm going to grab a tablespoon, about a tablespoon of butter. I'm going to toss that in there. And just give it a tad bit like that. There. To give this a mix around. Like that. Just break it down in there. That. Now, let's create ourselves like a little well right here, and take our egg, toss that in there. And then I'll just slowly start to incorporate all of the dry material and with the egg. Don't over knead. Come back later on and it's going to be a bit too hard because this is supposed to be almost like air. You're eating air with some sugar syrup that I created yesterday. Like that. So now I'm just going to take a touch of oil. Like that. Just a small touch. Get it in there. Mix it around. Like that.
hear that? See, it sounds hollow. It's supposed to be like spongy, right?
Because it's mainly that.
Yeah, it's just powdered milk. Okay, so I'm just gonna let that sit here. It's very sticky, so that's good. So I'm just going to let that sit there for a couple of minutes. So while we are waiting just a few minutes, I'm gonna let this I guess powdered milk dough kind of sit for a couple of minutes. While that's happening, over here is the second half of this dessert, which is the sugar syrup. In this, I've got 1 cup of water and 1 1/4 cup sugar with a dash of cardamom powder with a couple drops of red food coloring just to give it that distinct color.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to over here, honey. I'm going to make some balls like this, about this big. Gotta be about like bite-sized. Can't be too big, can't be too small. So little balls like that. See how they're shiny? That's really cool. Some shiny balls.
Yeah.
So here we got our Gulab Jamun balls. They're not really all that big, as you can tell. I tried to keep them as uniform as possible, but you know how it goes, right? So I got that, and before I forget, here's my sugar water I wanted to mention earlier. I also have a dash of lemon juice in there as well. So I'm gonna wait till my oil gets hot here, and I'm going to deep fry these. Now I'm going to shut this one right off and actually take it off the heat, and I'm going to deep fry them. And then once these things are deep fried and they're turned golden brown, I'm going to put them in there, and I'm going to let them sit in there for about 15 minutes, and then it's time to serve. Alright, so let's give this a test run here. Oh, right on. Ooh, that's pretty full, guys. Hopefully I can start a house fire here. Keep turning those because we want them to be golden brown. Like that. I'm the cameraman and the chef here right now because my beautiful is doing a school assignment. Actually looking very good. I like that. Let's allow them to deep fry like that for a couple of seconds more. Maybe. Alright, so these are looking like some pretty good tasty shits, guys. So I'm going to start transferring them. I'm going to turn this off. Toss that in there like that. Maybe you want to come over here. gotta smell that, baby. It smells pretty good. So we'll leave those in there, and we'll see how this stuff looks after about 15 minutes. All right, so here is our dessert called Galub Juman. They look very, very tasty. That's some tasty shit, guys. Toss those in there. So there we are. Here is our dessert. So let's do a camera switch here and a taste test. So go ahead, baby. Grab a fork.
It's dying, that's why it's dark.
Oh, okay.
Just like that? Go
Yeah.
right, poke it in there.
Soft.
Hot.
Hot. Here's the inside. What do you think?
That's tasty shit.
Yeah. Have you ever had anything like this before?
No.
No, that's fantastic. That's some pretty tasty shit. So there we have it, guys. Some tasty shit. Just allow that to cool down and enjoy. I will put the recipe in the comments of this video or into the description of this video, and you guys are more than welcome to give it a shot.